Hello, my name is Zed, welcome to the Shovel Warehouse, and today we have to face one of those numbing inevitabilities of the shovelware back catalogue. This is Bubsy 3D, and it's one of those games like Superman 64 and E.T. on the Atari 2600 that sooner or later you just have to do. I'm going to let you listen to the voice acting. Are you ready?
You wanna be a video game star? For starters, grab all the items you see. There's plenty of them in each level, and if you get enough of them, you'll be in for some surprises.
Yes. That's the level that we're looking at the moment. So this is Bubsy 3D, and the reason I'm doing this now, rather than putting it off until the heat death of the universe when it won't actually affect anybody, is that Bubsy is coming back. There was a campaign to get a new Bubsy game through Steam and Greenlight. I mean, I have to say, at least they didn't kickstart it. But it had this hashtag for Save Bubsy. And a bunch of people supported it and got it through Greenlight. And now it's going to release. Here's the thing. You're all idiots. Here's why.
Now, what would a platform game be without platforms? I wonder if there's any extra lives up there.
That's why. This is what you voted to save. I don't know why, but they kind of positioned it as if Bubsy was this kind of put upon, unfairly judged, you know, like there was some injustice against him. There wasn't. All of his games are terrible. There's the one, we already did one that was on the Atari Jaguar, which you should go check out. But even the ones on like Super Nintendo are bad. And the reasons that they're bad, I will at some point... Oh, hold on.
Goody!
Yeah, I have to keep stopping so that you can really get the full breadth of everything that's wrong with this. So the reasons that they're bad, in the 2D ones at least, is they're like Sonic with Mario level design. And what I mean by that is that they have Sonic's momentum thing, but with like really slow, cumbersome, methodically planned out levels. But we'll talk more about that when I do the 2D games. For now, this is Bubsy 3D, and this was his foray into 3D gaming, you know, when we had Super Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. This is what Bubsy came out with. The people who made Bubsy gave us this, thinking that this was on par with those games. And the whole shtick of it all is that Bubsy is a self-aware, fourth wall breaking video game character. Kind of like a, I don't know, in the same vein as Deadpool, I suppose, but with none of the charm. Because he's not, I don't know why I didn't make that jump. I don't know why that jump didn't, well, I do, I know exactly why, it's because this game is badly made, but other than that, I don't know why I didn't make it.
Yo! Bullies! My enemies! Let's battle!
Yay!
Zoinks!
So this is level 1, that's a checkpoint there.
Now, if you lose a Bubsy, you'll start over here instead of at the beginning.
The beginning of the level, by the way, is over there. It takes like 3 seconds to walk from the beginning of the level to where I am now. Just in case you thought, you know, that was a meaningful design decision. It wasn't. And right, okay, if I end up here, I pretty much know I've gone the wrong way. That arrow doesn't really matter, does it? So what you do is you wander around... Alright, this is going to be a bit obscure, because I don't know whether many people will have seen this. Those of you that have played Wind Waker, the very excellent Zelda game, may be aware that there's like a beta test version of Wind Waker. You can get to like the beta rooms that they used for testing. The beta rooms that they used for testing had unfinished textures and stuff on. That were kind of, yeah, just, ugh.
Yowza!
Just everything about this. Right, so the beta rooms in Wind Waker had unfinished kind of checkerboard textures and things. Because, you know, beta, you're not supposed to be able to see it. These are the actual graphics of Bubsy 3D. Like, I haven't, you know, I haven't corrupted the data or anything like that. This is what the game looks like. This is... I don't even know what that is. What is that? And as you can see here, we have to get around some slightly evil-looking clams. For reasons. I should also mention it's got tank controls in a platformer. You can imagine that doesn't go down particularly well, and it's really hard. You only have like 2 heights of jump. Oh no, sorry, you have 3 heights of jump, but one of them's kind of like a useless little hop. So, although you can jump on enemies, actually jumping on enemies is, well, you can see how well that's going. And this is the game. I wish I was exaggerating, you know, for comedic effect. I really wish that I was, but I'm not.
See that thing in front of you? That's a switch. Just run into it to make something cool happen.
Something cool. Right. We're being promised something cool. What's the cool thing, Bubsy? Oh, it's wall. Walls are cool. All the kids are into walls these days. Everybody loves a good wall.
Oh, this is my favorite part. Hold the square button when you walk up to an atom. Go ahead, try it, but don't hold it too long.
A what? Hold the square button when you what? Ah, you can shoot it into each other. That's good. Why can I do that? What purpose does that serve? I don't actually think it serves any purpose at all. Can you kill people with them? Can I kill myself with them? Can I erase this game from existence? So, yeah, this is everything. This is what you do. You wander around.
Oh, look! An arrow! Aren't these game designers wonderful? Giving you a guidepost to help you find your way. How convenient!
You wander around while the developers of the game basically masturbate to how brilliant they are for mastering 3D movement and space. All the while thinking, man, I really, really wish that Sonic didn't suck ass. Oh, look, a checkpoint. Cool. Oh, these guys shoot things now.
He's dead, Jim.
And it's really hard to even line up on a static enemy. Like, even static enemies are difficult. And I just jumped straight on that one and then got hit anyway. Because reasons. And the biggest problem is the tank controls. I don't understand why you need tank controls in a 3D platformer. Nor do I really understand any of the context of the game. I mean, I don't know why we're collecting these little vitamin tablets, but...
Hey, once I grab this power-up...
Bubsy smash puny wallies.
And you get a really, really
Tubular.
bad impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then you're invincible for a bit, which is fun for like 3 seconds. And then it goes back to this incredibly hideous geometric hell. And honestly, I just playing it, you just wander around wondering what you did in either this life or a previous one that made you worthy of this level of suffering. Because no part of this is good. No child will have been bought Bubsy 3D and then feel closer to the parent that bought it for them. If anything, this probably led to the divorce that I imagine happened. They had to tell you that that was a switch, because otherwise you wouldn't know, would you? It's just a mess of blocks. Platform. Great. What platform? What platform? I can only see 3 feet ahead of me. Because draw distance in a PS1 game. Oh, and if you press R2, you do this jaunty little sidestep hop thing. Because they knew the movement was so terrible that they had to give you a way of being slightly more precise with it. If you tap back, you can do a jaunty little back step. And then there's a whoop noise that makes you think you're about to get abducted by aliens, or at least hope you are. And then you get epilepsy.
Oh, rocket! Find 31 more of these, and we're like yesterday's clams. Chowder here. Well, let's go get the other one. There's 2 on every level, you know.
There's 2 of those on every level. I don't think we're going to find them somehow. Because somehow I think we're not going to make it past the end of this level, even though I think the ending is here. Maybe we can make it. Hooray, we did. Either that or we died. There's no way to tell because the graphics and everything about this are terrible. And then you get a password and a little cutscene in which little green butt plugs made of plasticine do things to you. And just hop around and you just kind of hope they're going to take you out of your misery. But they never do. The loading times are absolutely astronomical. You get told everything you've missed, not how well you did, just the stuff you didn't do. Because that's more important. It's more important to make you feel like shit. Now I think we're in space. I think their justification for this whole thing is that we're in space and this is what that might look like. If this is what space actually does look like, then I will march to NASA myself from Britain. I will wander across the base of the ocean, walk into NASA and tell them to stop. Because this is not a future that I want for anyone on this planet. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. Does it? Oh no, look, I got knocked over. And then we have to move the camera around so that we can see Bubsy's hilarious face when that happens. All because you can't do anything when you're trying to move around. Oh no, I died. Oh no, I'm still not dead. Damn it. The torment continues. What did I do? What did I do to deserve having to play this? What did I do to deserve having to have this as a child? Because I did, by the way. What's this?
Ah, one-stop shopping.
Hooray! 10 of them at once. Could we get one that gives us like 300 at once? This is my favourite part. Right, so all throughout the rest of the levels, you'll notice it's got this kind of checkerboard texture and things, and they put all these geometric shapes around, and they've kind of tried to build a world and stuff. You get to this part here, which is supposed to be grass, and they just said, fuck it. It's just not worth bothering. We'll put the texture one in there, and then just not bother with the rest. To be honest, nobody's going to give a shit. We don't give a shit anymore. So why would anyone else care? Alright, depth perception. Is that a wall? Where's the wall? No, it's a slant. Of course it's a slant. And then you die. And that's honestly the most satisfying part of the game, because you get to see Bubsy maybe shuffle off the mortal coil. Unfortunately, I have more lives. So the suffering commences again.
Spicy meatball.
And he doesn't shut up. And he keeps making shitty movie references and talking about how it's brilliant because he's in a video game. You know what was brilliant for being in a video game? Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. That's how bad this game is. It's making me praise Nuts and Bolts. In all seriousness, no. Seriousness, this also removed my ability to talk. Oh yeah, Bubsy got my tongue. Oh no, I'm losing the ability to talk about how terrible the game is. Ah, you nefarious fiend. Right. So, as disappointing as Nuts and Bolts was, in all seriousness, if it hadn't been a Banjo-Kazooie game, I probably would have really enjoyed it. Just going to get that out of the way before somebody says, well, actually, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was actually really good and you just hate it because it wasn't Banjo-Kazooie 3. And you're right, I do. That's entirely accurate. You're not wrong there at all. I shattered into a million pieces. That's kind of like my psyche. So yes, do look forward. I'm going to keep going. This sounds like I'm wrapping up, but I'm not. I just really want to make sure everybody's aware of this. Do look forward to the return of Bubsy, because this is what you've wrought upon us all. Alright, this is what hashtag Save Bubsy has done. It has brought back this character, this world, the people who made this nonsense. Everything about this is now returning. It's like a cult that wants to bring about the return of Cthulhu. Yes, please, Elder One, awaken from your slumber and purge the world of all of its heathens, and please swallow us up and take us into a loving, deathly embrace with your tentacle gaping maw. That's what you've done, basically. You've basically sold us out to Cthulhu. Well done. Humanity is doomed because of you. You bunch of screaming morons. And I think it's just because they said, oh, well, Bubsy was around in the 90s. So you like it because it's old. Which is ridiculous. Because it really... What is that? Is that good? Is it bad? It's bad. It's a good way to find out, though, isn't it? Like, it's like people don't understand. There was shit in the 90s. We had bad games. We had stuff that nobody wanted to see come back, ever. And we also had mediocre games, which were worse. Because Bubsy, as bad as it is, I can play this and I can make fun of it and you'll watch it and go, oh my god, that's really terrible. If I started playing Aero the Acrobat, which is a game some of you may have never heard of, and those of you that have will have forgotten about, because that's how just utterly forgettable it is, you'd all go, oh well, this is just kind of dull. Because it is. It's nothing wrong with Aero the Acrobat, it's just a bit dull. But does that mean that if they brought back a Kickstarter now for Aero the Acrobat, you'd get a load of people going, oh, I loved Aero the Acrobat, I wish they'd bring that back. I remember that from the 90s. That existed during a decade that was previous to this one. No. Well, probably, actually. Bubsy 3D brings out the worst in me. Bubsy in general brings out the worst in me. People who defend Bubsy bring out the worst in me. There's a lot of bad in me to be brought out, and most of it is Bubsy related. I hate everything about it. I hate the lazy floor textures. I hate these little green stationary goobly things. I hate the perspective has to change when you're jumping, because otherwise you'd have no hope in hell of seeing where you're going. I hate that ultimately you're not controlling Bubsy, you're controlling that shadow on the floor. You see the tiny little shadow that's around Bubsy's feet? Look, when you jump, all you're trying to do, and the only way to play this game successfully, is to put the shadow somewhere that's vaguely in the direction of where you want it to be. That's it. That is all you can do. That is the entire degree of control that you have over this game. That is everything. And do you know what the goal is of these levels, other than get to the end? You just collect infinite amounts of these. Just forever. Just atoms. We're all made of atoms already, Bubsy. It's a fruitless endeavour. We all have atoms. I have atoms. I can give you some of my atoms.
He shoots, he scores!
He doesn't score. He does score. He scores 12 out of 100 on Metacritic, is what he scores. It's just... ugh. I'd rather be playing Croc, the Legend of the Gobos. Because that was this. Except it was presented in a way that made you think they'd put effort in. I quite liked Croc as a kid. But I acknowledge that Croc is a basic, by the numbers. Even that had one of these buttons where you shuffle from side to side as well. Croc is this, but better. Because Croc has a kind of context to it, and you know, they put some effort into the presentation, and there are boss battles that are pretty cool. And the levels are actually designed rather than just kind of being randomly plopped down in front of you while you're told, yeah, there you go, that's a level. It's something you can run around in. I've played things on Game Jolt that were made in Unity on someone's first day that were better designed than this. this is... And it's hard as well, but it's not hard because it's, you know, cleverly designed. It's not kind of... It's not the Dark Souls of 3D platformers. It's just shit. It's just bad. It's just... And I don't understand why you'd want to bring this back. Why would you want to re-inflict this on the world? And when it does get on Steam, and people go, oh, brilliant, it got through Greenlight, am I going to have to play that as well? I am, aren't I? I'm going to have to play another Bubsy game. So what you've done, basically, world, Greenlight community, anyone who's been suckered in by this was around in the 90s and we need more of things from the 90s, is you've inflicted pain on an innocent person. So, thank you for that. I personally pin my suffering... Look at this shit! I pin my suffering and everything bad that happens to me on you. Exclusively. Oh, look, water. Oh, no. Sorry, that's not water, is it? That's just more floor. I forgot. Because why would something blue and slightly shimmery be water? Because that would make sense. That would be a competent design aesthetic, wouldn't it? I think this is the game from which Skyrim got its physics. Yeah. And there's no idea, there's no semblance of where you're going. They put these arrows in, right? Okay, so that arrow says to go this way. Let's go this way. We're going this way, we're following the arrow. We're going to go up this hill. We're going to jump on these platforms, kill that thing. There's another platform up there, let's go up there. Huzzah. Are you having fun yet? Are you enjoying this video game? I can't begin to tell you how much fun I'm having enjoying this video game. And what's really bad... Okay, so you play Crash Bandicoot, Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Gex, Spyro, 40 Winks, Croc, Jersey Devil, Johnny Bazooka Tone, any other 3D platformer of that era, and you can make the jumps, right? Like, the act of jumping itself is not so much pleasurable, because all you're doing is... Oh, did you... What the fuck? I don't even accept that as a thing that happened. Right, so as I was saying, you jump in that, and you jump, and the jump happens, and you enjoy the... And, you know, the jump gets you somewhere. What am I doing now? Right? Oh, I died. At least it rewards you by letting you see Bubsy die in a variety of ways. So, yeah, you jump in those games and you get from point A to point B. And the jumping is competent. It's usually the camera. In those games, the biggest threat is usually the camera. Not so much the jumping, just the camera in general. Because the camera tends to be wank. Especially in stuff like Jersey Devil. And Gex. In this, the sheer act of getting from one place to another place via a jump. Like, I'm going to try and jump from this orange square that I'm on to that orange square over there. What I have to do is jump, and then immediately start thinking, oh, now I have to shift my perspective to watch the shadow in the hopes that the shadow will land somewhere vaguely related to where I want it to be. And what the actual fuck is that? What have you got going on there? It makes booming noises and looks like somebody stapled a Halloween face to some spaghetti and then dumped it out in the middle of this hellish nightmarescape. Am I supposed to get past that? There's an arrow going upwards. I don't really want to go that way because that looks random as hell and fucking stupid. Is it a wall? An electrified fence? I think it's an electrified fence. I think what I have to do is find a switch or something. But I can't! Because to do that, you have to navigate a level. And in order to navigate the level, the game kind of needs to be playable. Which I think, as we've discussed, this really isn't. I don't understand why that's there. Does it just hurt? Is that all that's there for? Is to just hurt me? piece of spinning geometry. It's just suddenly decided that now even the floor hates me. I'm surprised the pickups haven't turned around going, oh, you little bobcat bastard. You think, you know, the walls are going to start abusing me in a minute. Oh well. Bounce on that thing. See, okay, right, so here's an arrow. Maybe that'll lead us to where the switch... This arrow points at this wall. Look, I'm not making that up. It points at the wall. I think it means this way. But we came this way. We did all this. And you know where it led us to? It led us to an electrified fence that we can't get through. And I can't find a switch. By which I mean I haven't actually bothered to look for a switch, because that would require putting some effort in. Right, so maybe the switch is around here. Maybe there's a platform I have to jump up. I don't know. I can't really see above me because there's no camera controls. See, the fact that it's spinning leads me to believe that if I jump on it, it'll propel me upwards onto those platforms there. This is what is known as inferred contextual design. It is inferred by the fact that there are platforms above you which you can't get to, and the context of something spinning usually means a fan, which is obviously propulsion. Here we go. Oh, I'm dead. Game over. Doesn't that about sum that up? So, this was Bubsy 3D. I'm not playing any more of that. I think I've suffered enough. And I would just like to say to anyone who actually took part in the hashtag Save Bubsy campaign, fuck you!